everybody, John 12 back here again with another video, and I'm here to give you another who would win battle. Yes, I've been on vacation for a long time discussing things, all comic books. I've been in a very big comic book mood, specifically a Batman mode, which would explain that I pretty much bought anything Batman while I was at my vacation in various comic book stores, which I love to death. I'm just saying, folks, you like superhero movies? Well, you need to get with it. You gotta get with the program. Go to a comic book store, support that shit, and buy some freaking comic books. I don't care how much money. It's less than a ticket. Ironically. It's less than a ticket. Get a freaking comic book and learn something that you can't learn in school. But that being said, enough of my, ignorant rants about comics. I obviously have been on vacation for a while now. It's been pretty fun and entertaining, but that's over with. And of course, if you want to go into more depth with my vacation, you can go to EvaScar23's channel and check out the more recent episodes, yes, episodes, because it's going to be a two-parter, folks, of him and I discussing our separate vacations and the crazy things that went down in there, because it was crazy, or whatever. Go check out the podcast and, enjoy yourselves while you're listening to us basically discuss pretty much stuff that is irrelevant to you, but you might find funny. And of course, you can also go to the John 12 Effect podcast, where I don't know when it's going to come out, but I'll be doing a more a recent episode of me talking about my vacation in more depth, in a more serious manner. I won't go into the more crazy things that I will in the podcast, but you get the general gist of what went down on my vacation over there. But that being said, enough of the podcast. Let's get into this segment. Who would win between these two godlike characters? Yes, it's time for another Thor character to take on another DBZ character. Yes, it's Beta Ray Bill versus Pikkon. Yes, another Marvel versus DBZ character. How original, I know. But anyways, that being said, it's been a pretty interesting ride doing Wave 2. This is, I think, my second to last, or third to last, rather, battle that I have left for Wave 2. And Wave 2 has been fun. It's been entertaining. I had a lot of freaking awesome requests, and they were epic as hell, and I love doing them. But it's now to come. It's time for it to come to its inevitable end, and I will be doing a Wave 3. I want some viewers out there to keep in mind, I will be doing a Wave 3, but that'll be obviously after I take another long break, of course. But I love the requests. Don't stop with the requests, because it's been phenomenal getting so many requested versus battles between my EvaScar23 and me and the viewers at home. It's been freaking awesome to really get that kind of shit in the comments. So please don't stop requesting battles. Because I love doing them. Unless it's Goku vs. Superman, then you need to, obviously sell that to another guy. Because I'm not doing it anytime soon, or possibly even ever. But that being said, let's get into Beta Ray Bill versus Pikkon. I think the more interesting thing about this fight is that I have a very unbiased opinion as to who would win. Because I don't really care who would win. Because I don't really know that much about Beta Ray Bill. Once again, as I stated in Wave 1, I'm not a big Thor fan, so I don't know a lot about his lore, mythology, and his universe, so I don't really know a lot about Beta Ray Bill. And for Pikkon is a filler character in the DBZ universe, and on top of that, there's not really a lot of information on Pikkon to really make me care so much about him. Although I do like him just for the sake of being a DBZ fan. I mean, that's just me. But regardless of any of that, I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. A very unbiased fight. But that's just me. Let me know what you personally think in the comment section below as to who you think would win in a fight between Beta Ray Bill and Pikkon, of course. And you also can go to Twitter and use the hashtag who would win Beta Ray Bill versus Pikkon. And then, of course, forward to me at George12. Your personal idea of who you think would win. But that being said, if you're new to the channel or new to the segment, this is how the battles really go out. Essentially, I give you a brief breakdown of both characters' powers and abilities, and then give you a speculative fight as to how I think it would go down, and then give you an overall, unbiased, subjective a winner as to who I think would win, and then ask the obvious question: who do you think would win between a battle of Beta Ray Bill versus Pikkon. God, it's so hard to say Beta Ray Bill for me. I don't know why. It's a weird name for a superhero character, but whatever. That's why I'm not a big Thor guy. I'm sorry. I know, everybody nowadays loves Thor, but I can't get into it. Other than the movies, I don't know if I can really get into the character overall. That's just me. His universe just doesn't really intrigue me that much. But whatever. Once again, it's a subjective opinion. You don't have to follow it. That being said, let's get into Beta Ray Bill's powers and abilities. Now, of course, just like most characters in the Marvel Universe, specifically from the Thor universe, Beta Ray Bill is very similar to Thor in specific attributes like power and physical strength. He's a very strong, powerful character, and he's nearly invulnerable and immune to disease and virtually immortal, basically. He also has a specific transformation where by tapping his hammer on the ground, he can transform into Beta Ray Thor, to his Beta Ray Thor form, to his mortar form, which is basically transforms, back into a specific form by just tapping his hammer while it's actually a cane. And of course, he, has a specific kind of ability. It doesn't really matter. His transformation doesn't really make that much sense other than possibly name change, and that's essentially it. Other than being a mortar form, that's it. That's the extent of his transformation. Of course, he, like Thor and various other Marvel characters, he has superhuman strength, superhuman speed, stamina, reflexes. He has superhuman dense tissue. Essentially, his skin, muscle, and bone tissue is 3 times the density of your normal human being tissue, which basically means he can he's pretty much immune to major wounds, tremendous impacts, and can fall from great heights. He also has superhuman durability. He also has a regenerative healing factor, extended longevity, and also he can communicate with and understand all races, species and aliens and stuff like that. He also has various abilities, like he's very skilled and fierce warrior, and he also has specific equipment that is going to be a major factor in this fight. But let's just get right into it. He has armor of Asgard, like Thor. He has specific designed helmet and armor that that contains his entire body. He also has a specific weapon, which is his main weapon, similar to Thor's Mjolnir. He has Stormbreaker, which is a hammer that has basically the same properties and powers of Mjolnir. Bill can use it to fly, manipulate weather, absorb and channel various energy attacks, teleport, and sense various energies. And other than that, he also doesn't really have that many weaknesses, being obviously practically a mortal, a god, and being pretty much invulnerable to any kind of attack. Beta Ray Bill is going to be a very fierce opponent when it comes to Pikkon. But let's move off of that and get into Pikkon, who's a pretty strong warrior in his own right. And of course, if you want to pinpoint Pikkon's power in comparison to like other characters of that universe, Pikkon is roughly superior in strength and power to your standard Super Saiyan form. Back when Pikkon was introduced into the universe of Dragon Ball Z, he was stronger than Frieza, King Cold, the Ginyu Force, and Perfect Cell, and of course he was stronger, or at least on par, with a perfected Super Saiyan Goku. So Pikkon is no joke. He's a very strong, powerful warrior, and unlike Goku and various other characters of DBZ, he's a very smart warrior in the sense that he plans out his attacks, and he's very intelligent with the attacks he uses. He thinks before he acts, very dissimilar to Goku and other characters like him. But that being said, let's get into his special powers, abilities, and techniques. Obviously, Pikkon can fly. He has superhuman strength, durability, stamina. He also has the Ki Blast and variations of the Ki Blast, like homing energy wave, continuous energy bullets, Namekian Final Flash, Nova Strike, a hyper tornado, burning shoot, blazing cipher, thunder flash attacks, super energy bomb, and voltage missile, and various other attacks like that. And of course, if you want to take other kind of cannons and contribute to Pikkon in your own various speculation and debate, you can go ahead and do so, because in Dragon Ball Heroes, which is technically non-canon, he has a specific transformation and form which is titled Super Pikkon. And we don't really know where we can pinpoint Super Pikkon's power, but based on what I've seen from Dragon Ball Super, he can fight on par with Super Saiyan 4 characters. So if that is taken into effect, Pikkon also has Super Pikkon, a transformation state that's on par with Super Saiyan 4. So if your standard Pikkon is at the level of a super perfect Goku Super Saiyan, then he's on par as Super Pikkon as Super Saiyan 4. Basic, at most. Not saying that he's stronger, or he's definitely up to close or on par to that specific level. Also, on top of that, Pikkon is a dead character. He's not really alive. So, in general, I don't really think this fight would matter to Pikkon because he's already dead. However, in the Dragon Ball Z universe, at least from to my kind of wavelength of understanding, if a character who's dead fights and dies as in his current state, he will cease to exist. So I guess when you're a dead character, you can still technically die, but I think it really depends on your subjective opinion, or what kind of dub you use, or what kind of canon you use, or whether you're a manga canon guy or an anime canon guy. It really depends on your personal perspective. Once again, Pikkon, in and of itself, is a filler character, and the idea of heaven and hell in Dragon Ball Z is filler in and of itself. So it really depends on your personal opinion on how you use Pikkon. For me personally, I'm going to use him as a dead character, and I will use Super Pikkon, but that's pretty much the extent of what I'm going to be using it for. That being said, let's move off of that and get into this fight. First off, Beta Ray Bill is a very strong, powerful character, and his hammer is going to be the main use of anything he does. He's going to be just like Thor in the Thor versus Gohan fight, where it's just going to get dragged on, and Beta Ray Bill is just going to use his hammer to his extent at defeating Pikkon. Pikkon, however, I think his best advantage here is to be on the defensive. Pikkon, I don't think, would physically be able to overpower Beta Ray Bill. Based off what I've read about Beta Ray Bill, his power and strength alone would definitely tower over Pikkon. So I think Pikkon would have to use out all the stops and use his mind, which is his greatest weapon, to really overpower Beta Ray Bill. Regardless of that, Pikkon has specific abilities that I don't think will have a major factor with Beta Ray Bill's ability to change the weather. They both have powers that are very similar in the sense of Stormbreaker, but Stormbreaker, I think, would be used to counteract Pikkon's powers. So that's just where I'm coming from with that kind of stance. It's all about strategy, and I don't think Pikkon has the great strategy to defeat Beta Ray Bill, with Beta Ray Bill pretty much being ultimately a god, and on top of that, being completely invulnerable to any kind of attack that Pikkon could invoke towards Beta. And on top of that, Stormbreaker would just destroy Pikkon. I mean, it's one thing for Gohan to beat Thor, at least in my subjective opinion, but Pikkon beating Beta Ray Bill, I don't know if that could win. I don't know how that can go down. I don't see how Pikkon could win. He doesn't really have an attribute about him that I think could beat Beta Ray Bill, technically. That being said, I think the fight would go out like this. Pikkon definitely would be on the defensive. He would use his strategies. He would definitely think out of his attacks. Beta Ray Bill would have a hard time to really defeat Pikkon right off the bat, but I think over time Pikkon will definitely start to lose momentum, stamina, and then he will eventually lose out all his ki intake, and then it will be a done deal. Beta Ray Bill will have enough energy within Stormbreaker to just demolish Pikkon. And that's pretty much the end of the fight, in my personal opinion. So at the end, I personally think Beta Ray Bill would win this fight. So at the end of the day, if I had to announce a winner, I'm going for Beta Ray Bill. So that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, it's a subjective opinion. Who do you think would win? Let me know in the comment section below. Beta Ray Bill is the winner in my book. I'm not really big on the character, and I don't really know everything about him. However, everything that I've researched and looked at out of him so far, it's going to be very difficult that Pikkon, especially seeing as how Pikkon is not the strongest character of the DBZ universe. It's one thing for Thor to fight Ultimate Gohan, but having a basic second form Thor take on Pikkon, who is a filler character, I don't even know how that can go down. And Dragon Ball Heroes is not canon, so you can't really take Super Pikkon too seriously, even if you want to take it to effect. So yeah, Super Pikkon, I still, even if he had that power, which is not even a power, it's just a clothing change, I don't think that will have any kind of real effect on Beta Ray Bill overall. My opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but comment below. Let me know what you personally think. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below. Let me know. Tweet at me, at John12, hashtag who would win Beta Ray Bill versus Pikkon. Let me know what you personally think, of course. And with that being said, it's time to tease the next battle on my versus matches, on my who would win battle segment. And that's, of course, going to be a battle between Deathstroke, the Terminator of the DC Universe, versus your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Yes, it's freaking time for Deathstroke to take on Spider-Man. DC versus Marvel. How original. But that being said, that's going to be a very interesting fight. I really don't know who's going to win that. I definitely have to do some serious reading up and research to really think it out, because right off the bat, I have an idea, but then, like, my idea starts to change every 5 seconds. It's like, oh god, who would really win? It's like, oh shit, I don't know. So at the end of the day, let me know your personal thoughts on that battle between Deathstroke versus Spider-Man. And of course, come back and just let me know overall, what do you think about Beta Ray Bill versus Pikkon? And of course, for Phase 3, this isn't confirmed or anything, but I might consider doing John Jones, Martian Manhunter versus Pikkon. Let's see how that would go down. Or maybe Thor should come back and try to take on another DBZ character. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let me know what you want, request in the comments below. I really love and enjoy the requests, so let me know and give me some more for Wave 3. Deathstroke versus Spider-Man coming next week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter at Jonch12. Follow me on Instagram at Jonch12. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and this has been Jonch12.